Alright guys, so we're going to do your daily video. We're going to start with Tuesday's Haggerty. We're looking for sounds that rhyme with "eed." For instance, read, seed, what else? And we're looking for rhymes that rhyme with "eep" or "keep." I'm going to give you a word. You're going to tell me the first sound you hear. Shadow. First sound is sh. Though. Whisper. Children. 30. Third. Put it together. Third. Shade. The N. Cheese. Out. The ease. Shed. Eat. Ip. Eat. Shells. Break it up into all of its sounds. L O Z. Choke. What? Thank. The A N K. Though. Only two sounds. Chief. Throw. Shut. They. Shuttle. You have ish, put a f, you get fish. Est with a ch. Ink with a th. Eat with a sh. And with a the. Elf with a m. Ill with a ch. Thunder, take away th. Cash, take away k. Chunk, take away ch. Share, take away sh. This, take away the. Choose, take away ch. Shock, take away sh. Check, take away ch. Shell, take away sh. Third, take away th. Came, take away k, put t. Tame. Tire, take away t, put f. Fade, take away f, put m. Woke, take away w, put y. Face, take away f, put l. Bite, take away b, put k. Cube, take away k, put t. Gave, take away g, put s. Main, take away m, put k. Wheat, take away w, put h. Good job. Next thing we're going to do is some flashcards. Two times 3. 2 times 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. 9 times 3. 9 times 4. 9 times 6. 9 times 7. 9 times 8. 3 times 3. 3 times 5. 9 times 12. 10 times 2. 10, 20. 10 times 4. 10 times 11. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Which means 10 times 12 is 120. 4 times 7, 4 times 8, 'Okay, here's a rule about division. Okay. When 0 is divided by any other number, the answer will be 0, just like when 0 is times by a number. So 0 divided by 6 equals 0, but it's impossible to divide a number by 0. Okay, so I'll do a couple examples. 0 divided by 8 is 0. 0 divided by 236 is 0. 0 divided by 1 is 0. 1 divided by 0 is impossible. 167 divided by 0 is impossible. 1,000,000 divided by 0 is impossible. And I'm going to show you why. 0 divided by 110 0 divided by 110. Is going to equal 0. Hard to see. Okay, but it will. It'll equal 0. That's what it does. When I type in 12 divided by 0, my phone will actually say can't divide by 0. If you have an iPhone around your house, I want you to go ask it to divide by 0. So ask it 12 divided by 0 and see what Siri tells you. Okay, we need to ask ourselves before, during, and after questions while we read. Very important, especially to nonfiction books. So, we're going to do some of that. We're going to go back to my good friend, National Geographic. And I've read one thing from this for you guys before, but I'm going to read something else. The first thing we know is this is National Geographic. So we're going to take a look at the front page. It's real. Okay, this looks like a real type of book. Pictures in it are real. So it's nonfiction. But it might have some bias because it has sponsors. Now, this is just a camera company. It's probably a camera company where they get to take pictures of a lot of things. But that means that it could have bias if Canon doesn't want you to know something or doesn't want you to believe in something. It could cause a problem. Okay. I'm going to read a specific article to you just so we can find it. I had it bookmarked and then I dropped it. Okay. It's called Earth or Bust, a Map for Aliens. So when reading this, if this is a factual book, do we have any questions? My first question was, is this saying aliens are real? I find this very interesting because I find space very interesting. While skimming the text, okay, I know that it's going to be nonfiction, it's going to be factual. It's going to come up with issues about our trips to space and our goals in our trips to space and what could happen in the future on our trips to space. What does it remind me of? Well, now whenever I'm talking or learning about space, it reminds me of last year when they stormed Area 51. Earth or Bust, a Map for Aliens. When you're reading these, sometimes there's a second, more detailed title. This is a catchy title to get your attention. This title is actually more factual. The map that NASA sent into space in 1972, or its 2020 robot, could lead extraterrestrials to Earth. Is that a good thing? Extraterrestrials are another name for aliens, ET. A half a century ago, astronomers designed a map that would point to Earth from anywhere in the galaxy. Then they sent it into space, reasoning that any alien smart enough to intercept a spacecraft could decode the map and uncover its origin. Many movies and TV shows have used variations on this theme as a plot point. But we didn't borrow it from science fiction, it's reality. Truth is, this tale has been part of many families' lore since before I was born. Growing up, I had heard stories about a map and seen its depiction on multiple interstellar spacecraft, and several years ago I found the original penciled-in pathway to Earth where my parents had stashed it. That was an exciting find. Then came the buzzkill. This original map wouldn't be good for much longer, cosmically speaking. The signpost it uses will disappear within tens of millions of years, and even if they don't, the map would point to our home for only a fraction of the 200 to 250 million years it takes the sun and other nearby stars to spin once around the Milky Way. Sure, the chances of aliens intercepting the map are astronomically improbable. But if that did happen, an outdated map would be useless rather than helpful. And that wasn't the goal. Why on earth does this map even exist? It was December 1971 and NASA was getting ready to launch Pioneer 10, a spacecraft that would sweep by Jupiter and make the first reconnaissance of the solar system's biggest planet. More stunningly though, Pioneer 10 brushed by Jupiter would sling it onto an interstellar trajectory, making it the first ever human-made object destined to leave the solar system. With a little help from his friends, the astronomer Carl Sagan decided that the craft ought to carry a greeting from humanity, a message identifying and commemorating pioneer makers that would be interpretable by anyone who found it. NASA agreed and gave Carl less than a month to design the message. This is when Carl's friend, the astronomer Frank Drake, enters the story. Frank is also my dad, and among other notable accomplishments, he's accredited with conducting the first scientific search for nosy aliens and with formalizing a framework for estimating the number of detectable alien civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy. Carl asked Dad for help crafting the message while the two of them were in San Juan, Puerto Rico, for a meeting of the American Astronomical Society. Dad recalls that in the lobby of the San Jerónimo Hilton, he and Carl quickly came up with ideas about what to include. Line drawings depicting humans, a rendering of the spacecraft, and then, in the next moment, we were hit with the idea of a galactic map that would pinpoint the location of the Earth in space. Dad designed the map, and in 1972 it flew into space aboard Pioneer 10. The next year, Pioneer 11 launched, ultimately carrying the map past Saturn, and now onto the stars. Then, in 1977, both Voyager spacecraft left Earth, carrying Dad's guide to finding our planet, which is etched onto the cover of the Golden Record. The way Dad designed the map means that it points back to Earth from both in space and in time, making it a galactic positioning system, a different kind of GPS, in 4 dimensions. At the same time, Dad and Carl didn't really worry what the aliens who found their message in a bottle might be more of the malevolent variety, meaning bad. Several years ago, 2 significant things happened. I found the original penciled-in pulsar map folded away and casually tucked in a tomato box in my parents' closet. And I linked up with a rock climber named Scott Ramson, one of the world's more prolific pulsar astronomers. Scott had been thinking about the Voyagers, the Golden Record, and the pulsar map since he was 10 years old in Ohio. Some years and an astronomy PhD later, he realized that Dad's map has a near future expiration date. Its Achilles heel is the same property that lets it pinpoint the Earth in time. Pulsar slows down, and the one Dad has chosen, from the few known at the time, would fade and disappear within several million years, give or take a millennium. So, he made a new map. Scott's new map is a GPS for the ages. It navigates the Earth using pulsar both inside and outside the Milky Way with a twist. Instead of the old ordinary pulsars Dad selected, the new map employs millisecond pulsars that spin faster, last longer, and have also dead orbital companions. Dad's map, of course, is still out there, but chances are slim to zero that the Pioneers or Voyagers carrying it will be intercepted. Though all 4 spacecraft are on interstellar trajectories, space is big, and the next stellar system on the horizons are maybe thousands of years away. Plus, the spacecraft are tiny and will be completely quiet within the next couple of decades, making them extremely hard to detect. So here is a picture of the stars. Okay. And this is a picture of our solar system. The Milky Way is on one of these little tendrils. Sorry, that's our galaxy, not the solar system. We are here. That's the Milky Way spot, right on the end. Okay. We have a giant core over here. Okay. So if you got a map like this, it would give you different positions. Just like if you were giving a map to a friend on the reserve, would you tell them, I live at this house number, this is my address? Or would you say, I live next to this person on the north end, to go past the store? Those kind of directions are more what this map would be saying. It's saying you got to find these locations. And it's in all these tiny little robots floating around. Okay. So that's the general idea. I want you guys to ask yourself some after questions. Would you read something like this again? Would you read it if it was more kid-friendly and you knew all the words more? Would you read it if it was more entertaining? Would you watch a documentary on it? Could it be turned into a documentary? Absolutely. There's been lots of documentaries about space. Lots of movies about space. So those are some of the things that you guys can and should be doing when you read and asking yourselves those questions. You also have these Fry words. They are posted under Monday, and I'm going to move them and post them under Tuesday as well. You need to know all your Fry words. No excuses, no questions about that. You need to know your Fry words. Okay? If you sign in, make sure you leave a little comment.